Ons begin hierdie eerste episode oor Matie Legends and Pioneers hier op Koetsenburg. Basies die tuisveld van meneer rugby, Dr. Doc Craven hier agter my. As jy hierso rugby gespeel het, kon jy maklik aanbeweeg na groter dinge. En vandag gaan ons gesels met iemand wat dit tot heel bo gevoer het, Springbokkaptein. Sy bynaam op kampus was Bottleneck. Hy het hierna toe gekom om cricket te speel, totdat sy pad met Craven gekruis het. Ons praat van Morné du Plessis. Sy pa was 'n Springbokkaptein en Morné sou in sy spore volg en een van die mees suksesvolle kapteins in Suid-Afrika se rugbygeskiedenis word. Onder hom het die Springbokke nooit 'n toetsreeks verloor nie. Deesdae woon Morné so 100 km hiervandaan af op Hermanus en ons gaan soontoe ry en daarso met hom gesels.
Daar voor die bal op de Afrika gaan deze de brieven van het kapitein probeer. Nee, daar valt Sergio omlaag. En hij wil daar een hij
Jou pa het, weet hy's die eerste ou wat die All Blacks 'n whitewash gegee het in 'n reeks gewees.
That's natuurlijk, it's in our DNA, in my family's DNA is sport, and my mother was a Springbok hockey captain and her brothers were soccer captains, and so, but I can say without a shadow of doubt that my dad never put any pressure on me. I had maybe another motivation, to prove to myself that I could...
On your own terms?
On my own terms. And I was at a school where, you had to fight hard for your recognition.
Morné se pa Felix het net 3 toetse vir die Springbokke gespeel. Al 3 as kaptein, al 3 teen die All Blacks en al 3 het hulle gewen. En toe vir die 4de toets vat die afrigter vir Felix uit die span uit om 'n jonger persoon 'n kans te gee. Daai afrigter was Doc Craven en hy het later die inwonende hoof geword hier by Wilgenhof Koshuis net hier agter my. Doc Craven was sekerlik die mees invloedryke persoon in Suid-Afrikaanse rugbygeskiedenis. Hy het vir die Springbokke gespeel in 4 posisies. Hy het die Springbokke afgerig. Hy was die voorsitter van die SA Rugbyraad. Hy was op die internasionale rugbyraad. Maar sy setel is hier agter ons. Dis die huis wat hy gebly het toe hy Wilgenhof se koshuisvader was. En vanuit hierdie plek het hy 'n invloed gehad op honderde spelers, onder andere mense soos Morné du Plessis. Jou eerste dag op Stellenbosch, kan jy dit onthou? Hoe het jy aangekom op Stellenbosch met jou koffertjie in die hand of het iemand jou gebring?
Nee, my pa het my gebring. Lang storie kort te maak, ek het my pa gevra, sou hy my Stellenbosch toe stuur, en hy het gesê, jy seun, jou punte is nie baie goed nie, jy weet, jou skoolpunte. En, maar ek sal vir my vriend, Doc Craven, vra of daar 'n moontlikheid is. En toe kom ons aan, Doc het gesê, sy punte is maar sleg, maar kom, miskien val iemand uit, jy weet, hier in Wilgenhof, en dan kan ons hom hier indruk. Jy weet, dis nou nie wat vandag sou gebeur het nie, maar daar is daar so 'n kans gewees, en toe is dit so, toe kom ek my pa in hierdie ongelooflike, mooi, pragtige plek, jy weet, ons kom van Stilfontein af, het is 'n bietjie verandering van Stilfontein, Stellenbosch toe, en ek was natuurlik in Bloemfontein in die skool. En ja, dit is, toe val iemand, toe arriveer iemand nie, en ek het dink amper so in die koshuis aangekom, en toe het die wonderwerk vir my begin, jy weet.
1968 was 'n interessante jaar op kampus geweest. Die jaar van tevore was Bobby Kennedy hierso, hy het 'n toespraak op kampus gegee en dit was net asof alles 'n klein bietjie losser begin word het en asof studente vir die eerste keer hulle dasse kon afhaal en dinge effens begin bevraagteken. En hierso in die koshuis het Morné dan ook mense ontmoet wat 'n groot invloed op sy lewe sou speel. Die grootste daarvan waarskynlik van Sail Slabbert. 1968 was a seminal year.
Yeah.
It was the summer of love. Die Beatles het gesing, die Stones het gesing.
Yeah.
Bobby Kennedy is vermoor. A lot of things happened. There was a certain vibe. Did you experience your first year, Stellenbosch, that things are loosening up a little bit?
Yeah, you could sense there was in those days it would be called loosening of discipline. Now it is a young person's right.
Yeah.
To experience what they want to experience, and that was the start of young people asking questions and look, in a very timid way, I must add, but still there was confronting authority. Interestingly, a place like Wilgenhof, the discipline was the seniors themselves, you know, not really any authorities, especially Wilgenhof, where Doc was the huisvader en hy was oral oor die wêreld, jy weet, en hy het geglo eintlik. I think he actually believed in giving young people responsibility and authority. And I mean, even in his rugby team talks, he used to talk about everybody in the team is a captain. You mustn't rely on one guy. You are the captain of your position. History will tell you that he was a voorloper in baie gebiede.
Kom ons vat net gou die mense terug. Jy het nie Craven week gekry in rugby nie, but you played SA schools in cricket.
Yes.
So coming to Stellenbosch, het jy gesê, okay boys, hier is ek, by die cricket club, doen iets met my, het jy jou gaan aanmeld?
Ek het juist, dit was een van die besluite, dat Stellenbosch cricket en ek het nou nie so goed met rugby gedoen op skool nie, soos jy reg sê, ek het die Craven weer gespeel, ek het juist van die wedstryde in tweede span gespeel.
En jy het onder andere gespeeld teen the great Barry Richards. First of all, you know, he only played 4 tests. And universally, people will say that on today's lists, top international players will say that he is in our world team.
Ek het teen hom gebou. En ons speel teen Natal en ek dink voor ete die eerste dag het hulle 100 gehad. En dit was my voorreg om vir 3 sesse oor die spoorweg paviljoen te geslaan te word. Jy weet, en Eddie Bale het nog vir my gesê, Morné, Bale, keep it short outside the off stump. It's just before lunch. He's just gonna, you know, see out for lunch. Maar nee, ek wragtig daar gebal, maar het my net so, jy weet, met disdain, it put me over into, and that, I think, was the crossroads for my
sport versus cricket.
Sporting career. Doc Craven actually one day, ek was net uit die onder 20s in die eerste span ingevat en toe vra hy vir Boland, Boland was die kaptein, hoe lyk die span? Toe sê Boland, jy weet, en die slotte is Barry en Bottleneck. Toe sê Doc vir hom, wie's Bottleneck? Hy sê nee, Morné. Toe sê Doc, wat ek was so gebou, jy weet, en toe sê Doc vir hom, nee, hy kan nie slot speel nie, hy's 'n 8ste man.
Die gebeurtenis, toe ek op skool was op Stellenbosch sport rugby, was 1973, toe Maties teen Tikkies gespeel het vir die eerste keer, ek dink in 23 jaar. Tikkies onoorwonne in 49 wedstryde, 12 of 13 van hulle spelers is in Noord-Transvaal, en hulle kom Koetsenburg toe om hulle 50ste een in 'n ry te wen. Wat Maties toe 14-3 wen, jy was daar, jy het gespeel, jy was kaptein dink ek gewees. Wat onthou jy van daai wedstryd? Of is dit maar net vir jou net nog 'n wedstryd gewees?
Nee, dit was van daai seminal moments, you know, met
ou Koetsenburg nog.
Ou Koetsenburg, die studente het nog paviljoene gebou, ingenieurswese en 20,000 mense en ek moes nog 'n eksamen skryf in die oggend. Een of ander eksamen wat ek misgeloop het, moes ek daai Saterdagoggend skryf. En jy weet, Doc se spanpraatjie en Doc was never nervous, never ever. He never showed, you know, he was the master of his fate, Doc. You know, he made sure, but he was nervous that day because he I think first time in his life he felt we were up against it, you know, we were outgunned, and he didn't want to. For many years we didn't play against Tikkies because he felt it would be a war and, you know, the fights and so on. But they accepted for some reason, and it was just the most amazing experience. Slangkritsinge van skoor.
Dit is die eerste keer wat hulle Maties eerste span omtrent gespeel het.
Ja, absoluut.
Was that Doc's intuition?
Well, it was Doc's genius, yeah, to bring these guys and yeah, I remember going down Ad van der Merwe was a lock, and Dani, hulle slot, maar ons is so moeg, Ek kan net onthou die einde van die game dat ek vir die eerste keer skree op ouens. Jy weet, come on guys, you know. Ons is amper daar. Ek kan net daai en daai ouens weer mekaar so gevat, jy weet, as hulle in 'n skram ingaan. En and to see Doc's actually how happy he was afterwards. It was quite a privilege actually to see.
He held sway for 60 years over South African rugby. Wat het van Craven gemaak? What made him?
Well, firstly, he played the game, and he was the best storyteller. He could mesmerize you. We would sit on a Friday night, and he would talk about the tours in 1936 and Louis Babro and Tony Harris, and you know, and he would build this picture of rugby and the adventure. He had a deep understanding of the individual, of what makes people tick, and he could get the best out of you and always challenging you. There was always a challenge. You never get praise from Doc. You know, praise would be not being scaled out by Doc. You just knew that this man is he's so ensconced in rugby, and he's everything. You know, he used to say, if you get tired, you're just feeling sorry for yourself. He would get right into your soul.
Here's the welcome for the Springboks. They're coming out through the member stand onto the field. Here are the Australians as we see them now, and the Springboks coming on in their darker jerseys and white shorts.
When did you get an inkling that you might be chosen for the Springboks, the 70-71 tour?
You know, maybe the night I was chosen. There
Waar
was...
was jy gewees?
Waar was ek seker in Tollies gewees?
Kan jy
Either
onthou?
Tollies or the Drostay or die kelder, those were our haunts.
As mens kyk na foto's van jou wat in die pers nie goed verskyn nie, jy's 'n vredelewende mens, maar daar's ontsettend baie foto's waar jy beklei, waar jy slaan of waar jy geslaan is. Nee, hierso sê hulle Bob McLean word gras toe gestuur met 'n linker van Morné du Plessis nadat McLean vir Piet Greiling se lip oopgeslaan het of so iets. You fought quite often.
I was involved in skirmishes, no doubt about that. Something that I regret was when I hit Kleintjie Grobler in a trial match in Bloemfontein. He was in the B team, Kleintjie in the B trial team, and he's a Free State. Come from the Western Province. I'm not that popular in the Bloemfontein, and Kleintjie trek my af and so on and so forth. Die lyn staan, you know, lineouts were a lottery. I lashed out at him, and it was unfortunately a pretty good shot.
Dis 'n mooi spanfoto van die Springbokke.
Ja.
Want Kleintjie het die span gehaal.
Ja.
So die hele Springbok span sit daar, so en Kleintjie sit met 'n goeie ou blou oog, 'n shiner daarop.
En ons is so goeie vriende gewees. Jy weet, ek het jammer gesê and he understood it immediately.
Daai tyd was die tyd toe isolasie begin byt het. En provinsialisme het erger geraak.
Provincialism was rife. It's all we had to build up the north versus south, and you know there were the political differences, and
Dit was in daai tyd 'n bitter ernstige ding in Suid-Afrika gewees.
You know, there were the stories of the Broederbond and the fact that you wouldn't be the Springbok captain unless you were in the Broederbond and Ruiterwag, whatever it was called, and I've read books about it. But there certainly were, in certain parts, you could feel the animosity because, you know, you might have supported Van Zyl-Slabbert, or not might have, you did support Van Zyl-Slabbert, which is going even, look, being a SAP is one thing, but you know, supporting the progressive
Federal
Party in those days was nou gaat jy reg oor die tou.
Ons gaan gou net terug na 1974 toe, nee, nou is die Britse leeusie Willie John McBride. Vat my deur die eerste toets. Nee, julle speel nou op Nieuweland, natterige dag.
Good ball for the Springboks. Snyman. He drops a goal and it's over.
Davie Snyman skop oor, dis 3-0. And it all went downhill from there.
Jy weet, dit is 'n nare ondervinding gewees, 74. En ek het net 2 toetse gespeel. Jy weet, hulle was 'n buitengewone span. Hulle baie mense sê die beste span wat ooit getoer het.
Eerste toets 12-3.
Ja, dit was nie so sleg.
Hulle het nie 'n 3-10 hulle gedruk nie.
Ja.
Nou gaan julle terug kleedkamer toe. Kan ek so vra, jy's nog 'n relatief, of laat ek sê, jy's op pad na jou beste toe. Okay? En nou is daar die volgende span, vir die volgende toets is daar 7 of 8 veranderinge.
South Africa with 2 new men in the front row. Besaden Hoot at prop, opposite Fran Cotton. And Dave Fredrickson, the burly hooker. Edwards rolling for J.J. Williams into the 25. Williams kicks it on. This could be a try.
Nou speel julle die tweede toets en kry die grootste pakslag in die geskiedenis van Springbok rugby. Ek moet eers hoor, kan jy enigiets onthou wat in die kleedkamer na die tyd gesê is? Ek is 'n woordmens.
Ja, daar is nie 'n woord gesê nie. Daar is nie 'n woord gesê nie. Ek kan jou liewerste sê wat voor die wedstryd gebeur het. Toe ons bus aankom by Loftus, vol en 'n sonnig wintersdag, jy weet, Breinveld. En ons is so benoud, want ons is so ingepraat in wat gaan gebeur as ons verloor, en jy kan 'n speld, en ons wil amper huil in die bus. En die Britse leeu's kom dieselfde ongelukkig, dieselfde tyd by die paviljoen aan, en hulle bus, en hulle sing, en hulle is gelukkig. En jy weet, ek het so oorgekyk, en ek gedink, dit is hoe rugby eintlik moet wees, jy weet.
Dit is 5 Januarie 1976. Ons heet u welkom by die openingsaand van die volledige televisiediens van die SAUK.
In 1976 was daar 'n belangrike nuwe verwikkeling. Vir die eerste keer kon Suid-Afrikaners rugby kyk op televisie en self besluit wie's goed en wie's sleg. Maar die neeweffek was geweest dat hulle vir die eerste keer ook kon sien wat in Suid-Afrika self aangaan. En 2 maande nadat die All Blacks in 1976 hier aangekom het om teen Morné du Plessis se Springbokke te speel, was dit die Soweto-opstande geweest. En te midde van daai omstandighede was dit een van die ongemaklikste toere nog na Suid-Afrika. Het jy dit destyds as kaptein so beleef?
Ja, dit is die begin van die ongemaklike toere. Jy weet, daarna en voor dit, maar ons is 'n bietjie meer onbewus van wat werklik in ons land aangegaan het voor dit. Maar in 76, the riots, the tragedy, jy weet, daar is ons geïndoktrineer dat politiek en sport moenie gemeng word nie, jy weet. En jy is so amper geïndoktrineer dat dit wat daar gebeur het, is politiek. Maar ons weet nou dat dit was nie politiek nie. Dit is alledagse lewe wat mense lewensdood verander het. Die stelsel was so, it was so powerful that it could separate those two things. Was it right not to take more ownership, more responsibility? No, but that's making no excuses. That's what we did. We went on playing rugby. The politicians might have other motives, might have had other motives to show the world that we can still be champions, etc. But our motivation, and I'm sure Dr. Craven's motivation, was purely a rugby like it would be today. Yeah. We want to be the best that we can be in rugby.
Daai kans het gekom in 1980.
Yeah.
Met Billy Beaumont se leeu's. You wouldn't see that
it's fabulous, ja.
Dis in 1980 leeu's. Die skande van 1974 het nog steeds swaar in Suid-Afrika gehang. Het jy daai druk gevoel van you can't drop this?
Ja, again, and it's a rugby skande.
Ja.
Dis nie 'n politieke skande, dis 'n rugby skande. Ons rugby is ons bloed. En ons het skande gemaak. En ons moet dit nou probeer regmaak.
Die eerste toets is op nuwe land. En met die bymekaarkomslag laat Derek Cornell die leeu se 8ste man, Morné du Plessis, steier met 'n face-out.
All Springbok teams I've played in were brilliant, and to me, but this one was a special team.
Noem 'n paar name.
I can tell you that from Geysie to Gerry to Raymond to Willie Toep to David Smith to Naas Botha, Devan, Molies, Moner, Richard Prentice, there's Willie Kaats, Mateen Seru, and then the Looseford trio that I dream about playing with Rob Lowe and Tiaan Stoffberg. I think one question you wanted to ask me was which players would do well in the modern rugby. I'd put Tiaan Stoffberg probably right at the top. Ray Mort, obviously, Rob Lowe, I mean, all of them. So it was a real privilege to play.
Na sy fantastiese skop het die Leeu's se laaste hoop om die reeks te red die nekslag toegedien. En die vierde toets skor daarna op Loftus was niks meer as 'n antiklimaks. Wat wel belangrik is dat die Springbokke die vernederings van 1974 gebreek het met van die beste vertonings ooit op eie bodem.
Morné's resignation at a relative young age in 1981 took South Africa by surprise. He was barely 30 years old and was expected to lead South Africa for the all-important tour to New Zealand. He was especially traumatized by the death of Chris Burgers during a game against Free State. And at that stage, Morné du Plessis, after a successful decade as a rugby player for South Africa, had had enough.
And I said to the team, look, this is me. I don't see myself building up the enthusiasm, the energy, the emotional energy you require to do something like this. I don't see it anymore. I can't see myself getting there. And once I told them I could, there was no going back. And I would like to have said, yeah, it was because I didn't like the political, it was my way of disagreeing with the political situation in this country. It might have weighed down on my decision, but it was an accumulation of being tired. Everything was rugby, and I had to get on with something else in my life.
In 1995, South Africa was provided with a magical moment when sport and politics reunited and South Africa won the 1995 World Cup, with Morné as the manager of the team.
There it is. Francois Pienaar. And Nelson Mandela is cheering along with the whole of the stadium.
Morné toe kom 1995, en jy raak 'n bestuurder.
Jy weet, dit was vir my 'n groot voorreg om my rugbyloopbaan so te sê af te sluit, wat baie van my vennote nie die kans gehad om in 'n nuwe era met rugby betrokke. My situation is not important. What was important that it was an opportunity for South Africa to show the world that this can work. And we, rugby, the team, the country, actually, without spelling it out, the one team, one country was a fantastic
concept,
honest concept. I can't really sum it up in a few words, but it was a special magic time for this country, and it was a forerunner of what can happen.
We had almost the same vibe in 2019 than we had in 95. Did you experience it in that way?
The emotions were similar. The emotions of experiencing something life-changing almost for us as a country was very similar. And Francois Pienaar, who was there, who was the captain, who's the guy who's holding up the cup in 95, he will tell you that he thinks it was a bigger moment.
South Africa, a Rugby World Cup kings in Japan!
We have so many problems in our country, but to have a team like this, we know we come from different backgrounds, different races, and we came together with one goal and we wanted to achieve it. I really hope that we've done that for South Africa to show that we can pull together if we want to work and we achieve something. Thank you so much. We appreciate all the support. We love you, South Africa.
As you say, we get goosebumps again, and everything was meant to be.
Jy's in die internasionale heldesaal, the IRB Hall of Fame.
I don't know how you get judged. I can just say I'm proud of it and I'm thankful for recognition.
One of Morné's biggest contributions after rugby was the co-founding of the Sports Science Institute along with Professor Tim Noakes. Over the last 2 or 3 decades, they've made giant leaps and put us on the international map with the rehabilitation of injuries, with fitness, and has made a contribution to sport in general in South Africa.
What Stellenbosch meant to me is perhaps best answered in the fact that my greatest friends in life are from my Stellenbosch days. And I have many wonderful friends, but if I have to single out the great friends they come from, there was also the intense competition in my field, which was rugby and sport, and that desire to do well. And then the most important thing is that I met my wife at Stellenbosch at that time. If that is not shaping your life, then nothing is.